You say you don't get any joy out of this, but it must cause some kind of, emotion in you. What's that like?
Well, it's hard. You know, it's hard when you're trying to, when I was on the floor the other night and, and knowing that if this bill became the final law, that we're going to close a bunch of nursing homes. And I know it will. You cannot cut an industry by 33% of their rates and they can make a profit. I know that. But I had to try to sell this bill to the Texas House so we could, I always hate to say this, but move the process along so we could get this bill to the Senate for us to give time to be working on ideas to raise money. And I've been working with Republicans and Democrats to see if we do this, can I get the votes to pass this bill? If I bring in the deferral and give it to our schools, will you vote for this bill? Will you vote for the deferrals? And I'm getting a lot of support because people know I'm really trying to solve, Texas grants and our public schools and our Medicaid caseload and our nursing home problem. They know I'm trying to do that.
You've talked about a better bill now that it's, continuing in the steps. Where do you think we'll be at the end of May? I mean, what's it going to look like?
Well, it's not going to be beautiful, but it's going to be prettier than it is today. I think that we will do something to help with our public schools. I think we'll do something to solve the nursing home crisis. I think we'll be able to do a little bit of our caseload growth, address that. I think that our bill, when it came out of the House, is about $77 billion of general revenue. I think that we could come in 82 is what, 81, $82 billion and get the votes for it, as long as it's not a tax increase, a large fee increase.
Seems like the GOP has generally supported a lot of the ideas that you have, but because they are cuts, do you feel like maybe that might hurt the Republicans in the next election cycle?
Well, I think Republicans and many Democrats don't want their taxes raised, but they want basic services funded, and I think those are some of the basic services that we need to address to fund. And I think at the end of the day, that Texans will say the legislature has prepared a bill that lives within our available revenue.
I got to ask you, because it's been a hot topic this week, redistricting. What's your take on it?
Well, this is my 18th year in the legislature, and I've never had a dog in that hunt because Ellis and Hill County that I've represented for now 18 years, I've represented the same people, but people have grown, those two counties have grown kind of like the state average, so I've represented Ellis and Hill County for 18 years. But this is the first time that I've had to contend with redistricting. And my district is changing. Ellis County is so large that we have to go to a county that would make up the difference as far as population, but all the counties around Ellis County have grown also. And so some county has to be split. My preference has always been that if a county had to be split, that it would be that Hill County, that I would continue representing Hill County. And Byron Cook and I had an agreement to represent, he would represent part of it and I would represent part of it. But that didn't work out, and I'm going to, under the current map, I get part of Henderson County. Part that I have visited and have a home in, visited for the last 50 years. I've had a home in for 18 years. So I'm not a stranger to part of Henderson County, so I'll be glad to represent those people. But I was on redistricting, and I beg not to be on redistricting this time. It's a very political, ugly procedure, but this time's different, and I really think it says a whole lot of Joe Strauss. This is very much a member-generated redistricting bill. And I see members working together, and I saw members today with maps, and they're trying to tweak some of the Representative Solomon's bill, and Representative Solomon's has let members generate this map. And I'm not going to say that every single district was created by a member, because there's a lot of pairings. But I think this has been the least contentious so far redistricting that I have seen, and this is, I've been through this.
18 years, it sounds like you're ready to go for another 2.
Well, I might be. I'm not making any announcements, but I enjoy the process. I'm anxious to represent the people of Ellis County and continue representing people of Hill County for the next year and a half, and hopefully represent the people of Henderson County.
Let's say you come back, you ever want to do appropriations again?
I don't want to be any other place.
All right. Let's move on to gambling. I wanted to talk about, people have been wondering whether gambling has a fit in this legislative session. What do you think?
I hope so. I have always been for gambling. I have carried legislation for gambling. This is the first session that I have not carried legislation for gambling, but I think we need to get what we can get and what the voters of Texas want. And I hope that we can get full-fledged casino gambling in Texas that would include VLTs at racetracks, which are slot machines at racetracks, that will save that industry, and then full resort-type casino, destination casino gambling. I think it's a huge economic development for Texas, and we won't have it in every corner. We won't have it in Ellis and Hill County, but for Austin, it could be a huge economic benefit.
I know that, apples have shown up on the governor's doorstep, and you're probably the most watched House member this session. Have you gotten any interesting fan mail or hate mail even?
Well, not on gambling, but I tell you the most interesting thing, and frankly, it hadn't rained a whole lot in Austin this session, but we got a tremendous amount of umbrellas, so if you ever need an umbrella, we have some, and if you're in the Capitol.
All right, I'll remember that.